What is going on, Cantaloupes? I hope your week is going as smoothly as the postseasons did for the teams we're talking about today. This is the 10 championship winning teams with the easiest roads to glory. And a huge shout out to Donovan McMahon, who I keep thinking is Donovan McNabb, for suggesting this video. If you haven't already, subscribe and like this video. Number 10, the 1989 Detroit Pistons. This was one dominant Pistons team led by Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman, and Bill Laimbeer. It was a great lineup, and Detroit ran away with the best record in the East with 63 wins. Their first matchup was with a mediocre Boston Celtics team, and that was an easy sweep. They also swept the 5th-seeded Milwaukee Bucks in the second round. They got to host the 47-win and 6th-seeded Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals, taking them out in 6 games. This was a very easy path to the finals, and then the Pistons swept the Los Angeles Lakers to win their first ever championship. Number 9, the 2015 Kansas City Royals. The Royals got a friendly first round series against the Houston Astros, who had just won 86 games in the regular season. Easy victory there. Then they got the Toronto Blue Jays in the ALCS, and sure, that seems hard, but they got to face David Price, and he blew 2 games for the Blue Jays. Boom, Royals move on. They faced the New York Mets in the World Series, but this time, instead of the starting pitching, it's the relief pitching that blows it, and Kansas City wins their first title in 30 years. Number 8, the 2004 Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning were the top seed in the East with 106 points, all led by the scoring champion Marty St. Louis. They cruised through the 8th-seeded New York Islanders, who had just 91 points in the regular season. Then they swept the 7th-seeded Montreal Canadiens, who had just 93 points. To be fair, they did beat the powerhouse Philadelphia Flyers in the 3rd round and met the Western Conference's 6th-seeded Calgary Flames in the Stanley Cup Finals. Tampa beat them in a close 7-game series, and they should really feel lucky that they faced a Stanley Cup Finals team that barely made the postseason. Number 7, the 1998 New York Yankees. The Yankees won an astonishing 114 games in 1998, and they were fully loaded with future Hall of Famers. Now, nobody was on the level of the Yankees, but they sure got some easy playoff opponents. The 88-win Texas Rangers were no match for the Yankees in the ALDS. The 89-win Cleveland Indians weren't much of a battle either. And then the Pinstripes easily swept the San Diego Padres to win the World Series thanks to a really easy playoff field and one of the greatest teams of all time. Number 6, the 1996 Green Bay Packers. League MVP Brett Favre guided the Green Bay Packers to a 13-3 record in the regular season, which was the best in the NFC. They beat a good, okay, not great, Philadelphia Eagles team in the divisional round. Then the Packers faced the Carolina Panthers in the NFC Championship game. The Panthers had only been around as a franchise for 2 years during this time. Green Bay rolled through them and faced the 11-5 New England Patriots in Super Bowl 31. The Patriots were good, but they're not the Patriots that they are now. So the Packers crushed them 35-21 and took home the Super Bowl, and it was a pretty easy path. Number 5, the 2012 Miami Heat. The only team that had a chance of beating the Heat in the Eastern Conference, it was the top-seeded Chicago Bulls, who were upset in the first round by the Philadelphia 76ers because their reigning league MVP Derrick Rose was injured, what else is new, and missed the entire postseason. So Miami got through the 36-win New York Knicks with ease in the first round. Then they took care of the Indiana Pacers. Then they got the Boston Celtics, who took them 7 games, but they beat them. And then they crushed the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals to capture LeBron James's first ever NBA Finals. They didn't have to face the Bulls. They didn't have to face the Spurs. Easy. Easy. Number 4, the 2016 New England Patriots. The Patriots, despite not having Tom Brady for the first 4 games of the season, went 14-2 and were in prime position to take home Lombardi Trophy number 6. In the first round, they got to face Brock Osweiler. No problem. Actually, he gave him a bit of a problem in the first half, but then he went and did Brock Osweiler things. He went to then face the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game, but 2 of the 3 Pittsburgh star receivers were out and Le'Veon Bell left early. So New England rolled through Pittsburgh and then beat the Atlanta Falcons, who have been great in the postseason and all throughout the entire year. But number 3, the 2008 Pittsburgh Steelers, led by a steel curtain defense and quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. The Steelers earned the 2nd seed in the AFC. They crushed the 8-8 San Diego Chargers, who had no business being in the playoffs in the divisional round. Then they faced off against their arch rival in the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. But Joe Flacco was a rookie, and he made rookie mistakes like you would think a rookie would do, so he was no match for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got a favorable Super Bowl 43 matchup against the 9-7 Arizona Cardinals. That game was incredible. Awesome. But they didn't have to face an elite opponent. Number 2, the 1994 New York Rangers. The Rangers' 112 points gave them an easy President's Trophy as the league's top team. They easily guided through the 8-seeded New York Islanders, who I always think are 8 seeds in the playoffs if they make the postseason. New York then faced off against the 7th-seeded Washington Capitals in round 2, a team that had 24 points less than the Rangers, another easy playoff series. They got through the pesky New Jersey Devils. That one was kind of tough in the Eastern Conference Finals, setting up a Stanley Cup Finals series against the 7-seeded Vancouver Canucks, who had just 85 points in the regular season. The Rangers beat Vancouver, but it was a thrilling 7-game series, winning their first Stanley Cup in 54 years, and it couldn't have really come through an easier path. Number 1, the 1999 San Antonio Spurs, a lockout forced the 99 NBA season to be shortened to a 50-game schedule. The Spurs had absolutely no problem with that. San Antonio went 37-13, and that was the top in the West. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in round 1. Then they swept both the Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers in rounds 2 and 3, respectively. In the NBA Finals, they got to face the 8th-seeded, yes, 8th-seeded New York Knicks and their 27-23 record. The Spurs won the series in 5 games. What other teams had an easy path to championship glory? Join me in the comments below. If you're new to Total Pro Sports, hit the subscribe button because we put out videos every single day and my voice isn't always this raspy. Until next time, I'm Mike Cantalupo. Thanks for watching.